Can you hear me? Can you hear me on the Wake Up Show? Can you hear me now? Hello. Can you hear me?
Mic test 1 2 1 2.
We want to start everything with a prayer and in a good way. Since this project was taken to ceremony and asking ancestors for guidance and for permission, it's always just appropriate to start with a prayer.
Good morning, everybody. This is Lawrence Height here. We're live from the RST Childcare Building in Rosebud, South Dakota for our very first podcast, the Wake Up Show. We've been trying to get this going for the past year because down here at the Protector of the Sacred, we have a lot of good topics that we talk about throughout the day, and a lot of them I believe should be shared with you guys. We have elders in here. We have about every day we have elders in here, except for today. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of good topics that we talk about. A lot of them are real. They hit the heart sometimes. A lot of them are funny. We have a lot of humor going on down here. Everybody's welcome to stop in whenever they want. If you know any elders that want to come in and just kind of see what we're doing, we're trying to revitalize the language and also the culture. The culture is very important. That's a big part of it. We've had a lot of great elders come through. Some that are no longer with us, like Lexi Sam Highcrane. So we do everything that we do. We think about them every morning. So everything that goes on through here, we keep them in our heart, and we try to do our best throughout the day to try to continue to do what we're doing. I myself am not a speaker. I wasn't really raised with the culture, but being here a little over 2 years, I've learned a lot, and I'm nowhere near expert. I don't think I ever will be, but what I bring to the table is I could do the IT stuff. I could put the podcast on. I could do the videos. So the elders are the experts here, and it's just me here to showcase. I just kind of showcase what how important they are and the stories and information they have. And today with me is our host and also our leader here in the office, Sunrise Black Bull, and we also have Savannah here. And I'll let Sunrise go ahead and introduce herself here.
Good morning. Hope you guys can all hear me out there in Sichungu country. We are coming live from the RC Childcare Building here in Rosebud. My name is Sunrise Black Bull. I come from the Parmalee community. I've been working for youth and families for well over 20 years, looking at my own family structure and some of the things that we were facing within our communities. And I dedicated my life work to help combat a lot of the stuff that I experienced growing up and still continue to see within our communities. We have a project here called Protector of the Sacred. What Lawrence was talking about is he's been bugging us to start this podcast for a long time now. And I was going to start it. We were going to start it last November. And then I lost a sister to COVID, and I just wasn't in the mood to be seen in the spotlight. If you're on my social medias, I haven't been on there in a long time. I kind of took a hiatus from social media and wanted to go and gather myself and collect my thoughts and be more present for my family and start my own healing journey. We come from a place where there's a lot of beauty and there's also a lot of hardships. The conversations that we have in here are about real life scenarios, real life situations that we face here on the reservation, some of the things that we're seeing within leadership, language, culture, humor, stars, UFOs, you name it, we talk about it in here. We're hoping to spread the message and get some enlightenment out there to the people. Help us create this movement of protecting the sacred as the name of our project. It's a lifestyle change. Protecting the sacred is a movement of helping us protect anything and everything. If you're a land protector, a water protector, advocate for women and children and men, you're protecting the sacred. Language, culture, you're protecting the sacred. So that's what protecting the sacred means to us. We're looking for more protectors of the sacred to start in our movement. We're going to talk about our buildings, what we got going, how what the work we're doing for language preservation and revitalization. Hi, Patty. We really miss you. We really miss you so much. Come by the office, and we got some gifts here for you too, Patty. And Sam's jokes. Sam's jokes about you guys, probably about Lawrence. He always had jokes about Lawrence. So I miss your energy, Patty. So come on up. Miss Patty here, Patty Valandra. She's the spouse of Lexi Sam Highcrane. And we lost Sam Highcrane recently, and he was a big part of this movement about the language revitalization and the culture and the work with the horses that he did. And he's worked for children his whole entire life and dedicated his life to revitalize that language. And we keep his teaching strong here, and we remember him. So thank you for Patty for tuning in, and also everybody who tunes in and comments. We got some prizes to give away at the end of the show. So comment, interact with us, and Lawrence will get your name. Patty's the first one in our drawing then. So come and comment and engage with us. Ask us questions. Ask us. We can bring other elders and experts on. We got a historian in the office today, so we'll bring him on later in the show, Mr. Peter Gibbs. So I want to send this on over to my little tiny auntie over here, Savannah. All my aunties are older than me. So I want to send it on over to Savannah, and she can introduce herself and tell you about her role here.
Hi, my name is Savannah Littlebird. I was one of the Protector of the Sacred interns when I first started. And that was such a good experience. There was so much knowledge that was dropped. It was such a very good experience going through Protector of the Sacred. And right now, I am the assistant to the director and all the other staff too. So I just help around the office where I can, do what I can. And yeah, it's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience here. Protector of the Sacred, hearing all the stories, hearing all the knowledge, going to all the sacred sites. Yeah.
Savannah has a little sweet boy named Chunku. He comes in the office and offers us entertainment too. We're a childcare program. Everything that we do here is we're focusing on the children of the Rosebud. And I know everybody says children are sacred, but I really don't see a lot of action that comes with that. When people say that the RC childcare program is taking that very literally, we are building all the infrastructure. If you ever came through Rosebud and if you look over towards the powwow grounds, you're going to see a building coming up. That's building number one. We're going to have 3 buildings eventually here within the next couple years coming up, serving the ages birth through 12 years old. The current RST childcare building is going to be for the infants and toddlers, and then the 3 buildings that are getting built up by the powwow grounds are going to serve 3 to 5, 6 to 9, and 9 to 12-year-olds. So that's going to be some amazing infrastructure. And if we have some video of what those buildings are going to look like, and we want to show them to you guys to get you guys involved in. These are buildings for our babies. There are children here on the Rosebud, so they're for you guys. We're doing this for you guys. So I'm gonna have Lawrence cue to the video of the buildings, and we want to introduce you to what they're going to look like. It's going to be amazing. So I'm gonna have Lawrence pull that picture back up and kind of explain the different buildings that we got going on. But if you see on that video, there's a huge outdoor classroom component to it too. That's where the teachings happen, is outdoors. So within the 3 buildings that we're going to be building, we're also going to have this huge outdoor facility, and we're going to mimic the Black Hills, which is going to be amazing. So we've been taking trips to these sites, having the teachers understand what these sites are about. So then when they're teaching the children, they know exactly what they're telling the children. This is how we pass along information to our next generation. One of the important things that I've learned working here at childcare program is the importance of the first 1,000 days of a child's life. The first 1,000 days of a child's life can make or break that child. You can determine if that child's going to be successful or not around about the age 3 to 5. And that's some very heavy stuff. So when we look at some of the things that are currently happening in our communities, we see a lot of the negative things that are happening because it's just so overwhelming. How can you not notice all of the different violent acts, child neglect, child abuse, all of these different things that are happening? But there's a lot of beauty here. There is a lot of beauty. And we got language, we got culture. I travel all over the country, and it's really hard to when I talk with other tribes and other nations. And there I remember I'm meeting a tribal nation group out of California, and there was only 30 members of their tribe. There's tribes who are scrambling to try to save their language, and we got speakers right now. So we're going to talk about within this podcast is, what do we do to help better ourselves so we can help better the people, help make our communities better, stronger, healthier. And it has to start with us. We can't be relying on anybody to come in and save us. So that's what the message is that we want to get out here, is we want to empower one another, want to help each other, lift each other up. support one another. We don't get a lot of that here. And I'm wondering if my sister Jenna's on the line. I wanted to give my sister Jenna a shout out and send her some good vibes today because she's going to be having a baby. I fly down in a couple weeks, and her oldest and at one point, her only child, Josie Pro Menard, is going to be graduating high school down there. So we're going to fly out and go and celebrate her. And my sister Jenna decided to hit the replay button again. And as Josie's turning 18, she's going to be having another baby. So I'm going to have two nieces 18 years apart. So I'm going to go down there and celebrate with her. And I hope she's online somewhere. I love you, Jenna. And good luck today bringing that little niece into the world. Today's weather is supposed to be really windy. And we wanted to introduce Lakota words throughout this time too, to help us promote the language. Oh, Lawrence got the photo back up and running up here. So if you guys look at the building right here, this is what the facility is expected to look like. The double-story building up on the left side right there that's the building that's being built right now. At the bottom, we're going to have 60 children, 3 to 5 year olds within that facility. Then we have building 2 and 3. We set a survey out not too long ago, and a lot of people commented, and we needed that feedback to help us determine what type of activities we're going to be hosting in here. So we heard we heard your voice. We've seen the activities that you want to be created. So we relay that information on over to the architects and the people. This is what they want. So this is how we need to build the facility. So this is what the 3 facilities will eventually look like. You'll be able to see a big old teepee into the sky projected by lights. And you kind of see in the back of the building there's like this racetrack thing going on. That's going to be our outdoor classroom. We're going to need your help in building that. This is where our children are going to be able to learn a lot of the teachings from these sacred sites here within there. So that's where the outdoor classroom will be. We'll actually even have an underground tunnel coming up and emerging at Wind Cave. So we're going to need your input and we're going to need your help in building this. This is for our children. Think of Storybook Island's Lakota version. So as you can walk your children through this park, and you'll be able to hear different stories and teachings about these different sites. So your input is going to be needed with that right there. It's all for the children. Like I said, those first 1,000 days of a child's life, that's make it or break it time. Nutrition's important. That's why WIC's very important. Lakota Tiwahe, the home visitor center, early Head Start programs, daycare programs, any program that works with children is very vital in helping with our children, meeting their children's needs. And if those first 1,000 days, if we continue to fail our children, we continue to fail the future of the Sicangu Oyate. And those are facts. Our world's changing so fast. We're going to talk about weather change on here, the climate change. How do we stay prepared? Different things that we need to do to help us here. So if there's any questions out there in Sicangu country, drop us a line. Maybe we might break into a video, a music video. Throw on some Lawrence's theme song here is Greasy Fry Bread. So he always likes to jam Greasy Fry Bread.
Who doesn't like the jam Greasy Fry Bread? What we could do is I'm just gonna show you guys an example of a video we did with Sharon Redbird Fobel, and she's doing a Woke Pond bag teaching. So I'm gonna send that over to you guys. You can watch that while we take a quick break here, and we will be.
Bag here that it's made out of felt, and these are shells. And I'm going to talk about all these that they all that are in here. And one of the ones are the sage. The sage is it grows in this area here in the Rosebud area. This and it grows in August. And you could pick these in August, and we use it for prayers. We use it at home with, and to bless our home. I always burn my sage in the morning and say a morning prayer. And in the evening time too, I sage in my house and like that. And they also use it in the ceremonies for whenever Sundance and in the Sweat Lodge. And they also have the women's sage and like that. But this is the sage that we use for all the ceremonies. And then we have the cedar. Then we have the cedar that the everlasting and that never turns yellow or anything. It everlasting green. And we use that for prayers too. We put them on the fire, or also we put it in this shell right here, and we burn it, and then we pray with it too. And that's what this cedar, we use it for everything in our home too.
Can you mention with the cedar when walking out like that is
Oh, yeah.
favored that so thunderstorm too?
Oh, yeah. I welcome you. Oh, and then also too, my grandpa, whenever the thunder are coming back, Grandpa always, I was remembering he always goes out. He has in a he prays. He goes outside, and he has right on Mother Earth. He puts that down, and he prays, burns it, and they use that for that too. And then whenever for everything, like even in the evening time, the bedtime, my grandson, I always burn.
And you guys could see a lot of those videos that we just showed with Sharon on our YouTube page called Protector of the Sacred. We had a comment here. I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna put Sunrise back on to address.
Hi, Miss Carlene. How are you? I miss you. Carlene's a perm chick, so she's from my territory back down there. Carlene had a question. She says she didn't know if we already mentioned this, but where's the facility going to be built? That's I'm gonna have Lawrence pull back up that photo again, and it's going to be built. What direction am I facing here? Northwest of the powwow grounds. It's the old mud tracks where they did the mud racing at. That's the spot where the facility is going to be built. So I think we're expecting all three buildings to be up by 2025. So we got a couple years there. That's the overlay view. You'll be able to see right past that, the racetrack in the back there, the hospital housing is going to be laying behind there. So that's the acreage that we have, the three buildings in a circle, and then the lights will shoot up into the sky and project a big teepee. And then the track formation that you see, that's just some mock versions right now. We're looking at the Great Race, trying to bring in the origin stories. So we're going to be sending out more surveys, asking for more input because the design of the outdoor classroom is going to be built right there. If you've been to Disneyland, Storybook Island, what do your kids play with? We want to make it interactive for the children and for families. So we are definitely going to be seeking any of your input on all of that stuff to help us bring some greatness here for the children. A lot of our kids and families don't have an opportunity to leave here on the weekends and go and explore and see different things. So we want to bring a lot of those activities here down to Rosebud. So thank you for that question, Carlene. I hope you got that answered. And so now Miss Patty and Carlene are the two in for door prizes today. There's the current the building right there is where it's standing right now. So hopefully in the next several months we'll have that up and running. Administration building will be up on top. If you know where we are located right now, we're in this really pitiful building right next to All Stop. So soon we're going to be in such a beautiful building there. So we just kind of wanted to see what's going on, checking in with anybody. If anybody has any questions out there, how are you feeling out there? How are you feeling today? It's windy, hot day. The wind is blowing hard. It's going to be blowing hard again for the next 2 days. What's your feelings at? Where are you at, Sichungu Oyate? Tell me what is happening in your life. What type of messages can we bring to you? We bring a lot of humor, a lot of serious stuff, and we want to engage the audience here. And kind of wanted to talk with Lawrence and Savannah about their experiences, because this journey with this protector of the sacred has been an amazing journey so far in these last 3 years. One of the things that I've learned so much about is that energy. We're all energy transference. And when a lot of good happens, a lot of bad happens. At the same time, I hear people often saying, every time I try to plan something nice and good, I get stuck with all of these bad experiences. My tire goes flat. They start to list off all these things that end up going bad, because when something good's happening, you're going to get that energy balance of something bad. And that's the teaching that we got with a lot of the elders, because I'm going to tell you what, you think that this is an amazing work, having these facilities for the children. It's not everybody's agenda. It's been a struggle being where we are right now. So we have to learn about and to balance that. There's good and there's bad. And we're going to take that. And we're going to take those teachings. So that's some of the messages that we want to get here, things that we've learned from the elders. They really had taught me a lot of humility. I'm still in this phase and this journey to healing myself. I've been through a lot. My family's been through a lot. I lost 2 baby sisters and my grandmother who raised me since the pandemic started. I lost my shunka. He even left me. His name was King. We all felt and went through so much loss here. But there's also a lot of resiliency. We have our language, we have our culture, we have our family, we have our communities to look forward to doing better. So what I want to get across is that we're all going through something. We all are facing something. We all go through hard times, but you're not alone. That we're here to help each other move forward. Giving each other advice and different options and different things to do for yourself. So it's hard living here on the reservation. And I know someone like Carlene and my sister Jenna, they're off the reservation right now, and you get to miss home. A lot of those problems get carried with you. So I just want to ask Lawrence and Savannah. Savannah was an intern, and the internship was a 20-month training program. In order for the staff members to be in these beautiful facilities, right? In order for them to pass this knowledge on to the kids, we need to have healthy adults in those positions. And when we look at our workforce and we keep it real in the reality of it, a lot of our people are suffering through so many things, and it carries into the workplace. So in order to change the next generation, I mentioned earlier that the first 1,000 days of a child's life is going to make or break that child. Okay. This child, with their attachments with their parents or their caregivers, the language that they're being introduced to, the nutrition that they are getting, the love and support that they are getting or they're not getting is going to affect this child. So if we're building a facility based on children and that we really want to change the future, we can change the future with these children. So we had to empower the staff that we were getting. We had a lot of staff turnover. There's a lot of fights amongst staff members, a lot of trauma and drama that comes from the streets into your workplace, your finances. We're like always in the top 10 poorest counties in America. So obviously, every one of us has a financial issue or a struggle. There's not one of us living on this reservation that I know of who doesn't or had a financial struggle. There's not a lot of millionaires that are living here. So if we're in the top 10 second poorest counties in the country, that's usually going to go hand in hand with some other things. That's going to go hand in hand with poverty. And that's going to go hand in hand with violence and our health disparities. So not only are we in the top 10 poorest, we usually rank up there with mortality rates. Several years ago, I haven't done my statistics in a few years, but BIA announced a few years ago that the life expectancy was 62 years old here. That was the average of funeral applications coming through their offices and taking an average age, 62 years old. The average age, life expectancy for the US is 78 years old. So we have a lot of adversities here, but we also have a lot of resiliency factors that we need to highlight and we need to bring to the forefront. So Lawrence is, when he got brought in onto the scene and we're bringing in elders, I started to hear his language change. I started to see different things. He was asking more questions. Savannah, she comes from a very traditional background, and bringing her into the movement and her taking part of the 20-month training program to go and work with children, they had to look at themselves. So we'll talk about Protector of the Sacred, the Google Classroom we created, and the staff had to go and turn around and look at themselves. So I wanted to ask Lawrence and Savannah, what at any point in time during this journey was this aha moment or this light bulb that goes off, or what moment of significance helped you move forward in your journey that you are in now? So any one of you could speak on that.
Mine was probably right from the start. Just sitting down with the elders. I had seen Sam around from time to time. But just sitting down and hearing the stories, and then to put it into perspective, I guess the way I grew up, and nothing bad on anybody, but I wasn't really taught that stuff, and I didn't think it was my place to be able to talk about that stuff, to listen to that stuff. I didn't know where I fit in on that. So some of the questions I never asked because I was scared to. I was scared of saying a word wrong. I was scared people are going to say, hey, that's not how you say that. Or, that's not the way I heard that. But sitting down with Dwayne, Sam, Peter, Sharon, everybody here, I learned that there's different stories and there's more than one way to tell it. And the most important thing is get those teachings out there. So we started recording and putting them on video. We just, a lot of times, probably about, it's my fault, probably 95% of the time, I should have the camera on and I don't, because we capture a lot of stuff that's just kind of off the fly we start talking about, and one of them will jump in and tell us, well, this is how it happened, and tell us a story that's really good, and then when it's done or halfway through, I'm looking at someone like, yeah, I should have that camera on, I should have had the mic on. It happens all, I say that about every day because it does happen. But it has been an experience here. I've learned a lot. My daughter McKinley goes on to Rosebud Elementary, and she picks up quite a bit there. Shout out to Lexi Kinley down halfway through the school year. So McKinley really misses him, but she picked up a lot down there at Rosebud Elementary. And she probably knows more about the language than I do at this point. But she's got a real big heart, and she's always saying prayers for everybody. So we take that home. With this program and with her, they've really changed me a lot, and I've learned a lot, and I learned a lot more about respect. If I would have known now, if I would have known then when I was working at the Coyer radio station, what I know now, that radio station would have had a lot more Elder content, a lot more Lakota language. So I'm glad for that. I'm glad I learned it a little late, but I'm glad now that I'm learning that stuff. And hopefully one day we can change this. Hopefully we can get more out there with shows like this and Facebook, and just promoting our Lakota language. I've heard it a couple of times when you go to Chinatown somewhere, like in a big city, you go to Chinatown. That's all you hear is Chinese. All you see is Chinese. When you order food, you gotta order in their language. When you come here, it's in English. We don't really promote local language, so where are we supposed to pick that up at? That's some of the things that we need to change, and that's one of the things that I want to change over there. I'm not done yet. Our contract here is up in October, but I'm not done yet. I was taking this film and continue to promote our language and culture until something stops. I plan on being here for a while and helping to promote this and putting it out there.
Right on. Thank you. Miss Savannah, what has your experience been with Protector of the Sacred and your own personal journey, helping you with becoming a mother, so what impact did you have?
For me, my aha moment was going through the first few assignments, and I was like, whoa, this is really where I belong. Because like coming from a traditional background and just not finding a place for me to fit in work-wise, it just wasn't fulfilling for me. So when I came across Protector of the Sacred and going through those first few assignments, I was like, hey, this is really where I belong. This is like something that relates to my traditional values and my spirituality. And to be here working through that was just beautiful. It helped me become a better mother too, so I could share the knowledge with my children, with my son and my daughter. It's just been really awesome. So, and like the financial aspect too, that helped a lot too. Just going through the financial literacy assignments, that was like, hey, you can be really super tradish too and financially smart. But yeah, that's basically it. My aha moment for me, and I'm really excited to continue working here with Protector of the Sacred and all the staff here too. It's just like a big family. Like when you come in, we're just like when we get breaks throughout the day, we're just like joking with each other, and it's just good medicine all day long.
We don't all get breaks throughout the day.
I'm not talking about long break.
I get here at 7. I leave at 6.
No,
Standard procedure.
I believe you.
And there's also a lot of lies that get told.
From Lawrence.
Yeah, mainly from Lawrence. I was just kind of looking around at some of the flyers in front of me, so I'll go and kind of tell. But thank you guys for sharing some of that, because I did see changes within myself. I seen changes with everybody around. What Savannah was talking about is a Google Classroom called Protector of the Sacred. And you can actually get onto our website, protectorofthesacred.com, and there's a button up there. So the Google Classroom, when I talked about earlier, is that if we want to change the future generation, that we need to change ourselves first. If we're working with these kids and we're full of trauma and we're just spilling it out all over them, then we're not doing them any justice, right? So if I'm coming to work and I'm having relationship issues with my partner and I'm focusing on that instead of the kid, or if I'm coming in and I don't know how to manage my funds and I'm worrying about I need to go down and get my payday loan, I'm taking time out from that kid. If I'm sitting there having um, constant health issues because I'm not taking care of my body. I'm calling into work more, and therefore it's affecting the kids. So if we're not taking care of ourselves and if we're not healing ourselves, we're not doing any justice to these babies. So when we looked at the trends of the staff that we were coming through and we were having a lot of staff turnover, we said we need to do something. We need to empower our staff. So the Google Classroom was formed. We applied for this grant, this A&A grant for 3 years, and Lawrence made a mention of it. We're going to be fulfilling our obligations to this grant at the end of September. And for the last 3 years, we focused on staff development. So we created a Google Classroom, and it was 12 projects in there. And they went through these projects learning about themselves. Savannah mentioned the first couple projects. You had to assess yourself. You're looking at yourself. You're looking at your weight. You're looking at what you eat, what you drink. How much water do you drink? How much sleep are you getting? What's your relationships look like with yourself, with everybody around you? What's your stress level at? So we developed this 20-month training program called Protector of the Sacred. And they went through this Google Classroom. The pandemic made us change the whole approach to it. So I had to go online. We were recording the elders, putting the teachings on there. So, and there's a public classroom. You're going to see what they all went through. And so when you get on Protector of the Sacred, you can get onto the public classroom and you're going to see all of the different Lakota stories, self-help, self-assessments, tracking the moon, tracking weather, looking at your menu. So it's a ton of different stuff on there that we went through for the last 20 months to help empower ourselves. We need to be in a better place so we can better serve these children. So when these facilities are up and running, we're going to have staff members. Every single staff member is going to go through this training. Right now, the current childcare staff are going to be jumping onto the training along with all the childcare providers who are interested. It's nothing that's forced upon anybody. But now we have childcare providers who are taking part of this Protector of the Sacred Project program. So you are more than welcome to jump online, take a look at that, go along with those activities that they're all going along with. And it's just helped to better ourselves so we can be better for these children. And that's the whole game plan. Let's be better. And so we can teach these children, let's do better. Let's do better in every aspect of our lives. That's the message that we want to get out here for Protector of the Sacred, because you guys are all protectors of the sacred in one form or another. And so
From Asia, nap time.
You can see him.
we're bringing technology and everything in here into this facility. So Alexa's going off, and those are reminders. I said her name, so now she's trying to communicate with me. But that's one of the things that we're going to bring into light is language and culture. Our children are so addicted to technology. My grandson, as you've seen him peek in here a bit ago, he's with me today. He's going to the immersion school, and today they don't have school, so he's here hanging around at the office. Say hi, grandson. Here's my grandson. He's 7 years old. He's part of a language immersion program that Sage Fast Dog has spearheading, and it's an amazing program. So this is what the childcare program is going to be about. So we're going to incorporate a lot of language and culture. And by the time Sage will eventually have a K through 12 Lakota immersion process, and we'll do the preschool kids. So that's the future that we want to create. That's the future that we want to bring here, but we need to start with ourselves. No one's here to save us. Our tribal leaders ain't here to save us. Our state and national leaders ain't going to save us. Your neighbor's not going to save you. You need to take responsibility for you. You cannot control anybody but yourself. You can't control your kids. You can't control your partners. You can't even control your pets. Only thing that you can control is yourself. So what are you going to do to make this a better place? I'm not asking about what tribal council is going to do. I'm not asking about you don't got no money. I'm asking what are you going to do to make a change for yourself and your family? Because when you start to heal your family, it's going to then spill out into the community. Your neighbor's going to see what you're doing. Encourage them, help each other. One of the things that I'm looking at right in front of me right now is the community cleanup schedule. Today they're in Wood and Butte Creek. Looks like they went through 8 communities already. Oak Creek, Corn Creek, Norris, Hedog, Uppercut, Meatgrass Mountain, Horse Creek, and Swift Bear. And so today they're going to be in Wood and Butte Creek. Then they're going to be in Ring Thunder on the 29th. One of the message that I want to send across with this is I look at the communities. I'm from the Parmalee community. And as I'm driving through, shame on me for not getting out and help clean up that place as well. I go through there and I feel nothing but despair. I feel nothing but hurt and pain when I drive through there because the kids are playing in garbage. The parks are filled with garbage. The wind's blowing garbage everywhere. And even when people are trying to pick up their yards, wind is bringing it there because their neighbor isn't picking up. And it makes, how can you feel good about yourself in the place you live in when your physical environment is filled with garbage? So it's hard for even us to work on the inside when we step out our doors, when we're waking up into a home that's not clean and comfortable, and we walk outside our doors and we're looking at a community that's just filled with garbage and animals that ain't being taken care of. That brings a lot of despair. This is why we get stuck in these emotional places. This is why we can't move forward. Utilize opportunities like this cleanup here. Take your time. And they're coming out and they're bringing resources. Pick up the community. That's my challenge. I want to see Parmalee. I need to step up and I need to go down and get some trash bags and go and pick up because I'm sitting around thinking, well, what are the leaders going to do? Or what are they okay like this? But it's not okay. It's not okay. And take this opportunity. The solid waste program right now is out there picking up garbage. Do your part. We have a Earth Day, but Earth Day should be every day. You know, Lakotas, we talk about how we want to live in balance with everything. We can't even live in balance with our yard. You know, when I start to feel bad, one of the things I do is I get up and I start to clean because I can't control nothing else but my own emotions and my physical space. So I'll get up and I'll start to clean. I'll start to do something. When you start to feel depressed and sad, get up and move your body. That's one of the things that's for free, right? Get up and move your body, pick something up. You're going to start to feel better. So we got the solid waste program out there doing community cleanup. Get a hold of them if you need garbage bags. I'm sure they'll supply that too. That's what happens when we live in poverty. We often don't have the basic necessities and then things get out of control and they're out of control right now. So that's another opportunity for you to go and take a part. And unless you don't see that trash, and you think everything's fine, I got another thing for you. We got some free glasses happening here. We got free Artists of the World Peace Native Eye Clinic happening at Sinte Galeshka, June 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. Look for those flyers because if you're not seeing the trash everywhere, then you must need some glasses because tell you what, I'm going around looking at all these natives around, squinting around like they want to fight you. What's going on? I'm just blind. I waved at you. I didn't see you. I was right in front of your face. I need glasses.
Speaking of that, shout out to Mallory.
Shout out to Mallory, Miss Mallory Arrow, our assistant here in the office, where you try to show her something, she gets right up on it. Ooh, what's that look like? I can't see. So Miss Mallory, that's some free glasses coming your way, okay? So that's something that's happening in the community. Take advantage of these types of things that are going on. You know, get out there and get you a free pair of glasses. It's going to be at SGU. To register for a free appointment, you call Cheryl Medeiros, 856-8117, or Amber Medeiros, because there is a lot of blind people out here. And I drive these roads with my grandson, and I'm having a second grandson come, and you better be on those streets with your glasses on because I got precious cargo out there, okay? So what else do we got going on? If anybody else out there that's listening to us, if there's something going on out in the community, give us a shout out.
Speaking of that, if you guys want to be on the podcast too, you guys are welcome. Just get a hold of myself or Sunrise, and maybe you and Sunrise can engage on a conversation. Could be about anything you want, but Sunrise is touching on some kind of deep stuff which we want to do. We want to continue to touch on like I always think of the youth. You walk outside, what do they have? Where can they go? Where can they get into an open gym at? Where can they go to have fun at? What do they have to be proud of? Have you driven through Sunrise Apartments lately? All you gotta do is take one drive through there and think of all the kids over there. And that's not anything on anybody in management, but that's kind of on all of us. I mean, it's on all of us. If you live there, that's your garbage. And it needs to be cleaned up. If you need help, you need to contact the proper people. We can't rely on solid waste. Their job is to pick up the trash that are in their dumpsters and their receptacles. They're not supposed to be out there picking up the whole reservation for us. That's our job. Our job is to put it in the bin and they haul it out. And so I see a lot of people always calling out solid waste. Um, they 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 just have to go out and empty their receptacles. So we might need to start a team that goes out and cleans up. That's something that anybody can do. You don't need to get a hold of council or a program. You can take that upon yourself. There's a great video that Lexi Dwayne came in one day and he wasn't scheduled to record, but he wanted to record. He sat down and he talked. It was during last year when we went to Carlisle, and he talked about a time when rations came out and how we got used to that handout and how we became so dependent on a handout to where now we expect everything to be given to us. And then that's why we sit there in poverty and sit there without stuff because we're waiting for someone to do things for us. And when in reality, we just need to take that action and make it happen. If you're hungry at home, as that father, I don't wait for someone to feed my kids. If my kids are hungry, I go out and I provide. I do what I got to do to make sure they eat. And we all need to get on that mentality, that level. A lot of us guys just kind of we don't do that anymore, and that's because of a lot of the trauma that Sunrise will get into, alcoholism, drugs. We're lost, and that's another subject we'll probably touch on. Meth. Nobody seems to like to touch on that, but we've talked to some medicine men, and that will be one of our topics. We only got like 8 minutes left, so what I want to close out with saying is this is just our first show. I got a lot to work to do on production. We'll add some more sound videos. It'll look better next week because we're going to do this every Friday at 11 o'clock. You can tune into the Wake Up Show. You could be a guest on here. You can leave comments. You can win prizes. Give us some topics. So we're going to have some really good topics coming up. I'm redoing that website. I'll probably spend a good portion of the weekend redoing that website. So you will see some episode 2 coming up, what the topic will be. And if you have a suggestion, let us know. Maybe we can get some council members on here, not to get after them, because we don't. That's not how we get things going. But we need to give them maybe ideas and hear their input. We don't want to start any arguments with the show. We want to be the solution. We don't want to be the problem. Is how I see it. So girls, we got 7 minutes. If you guys, we got a comment here from Marla here. Marla out in Corn Creek.
Miss Marla Ferguson says, I would like to have a youth cleanup day and pay them and show them how to clean our land. Miss Marla Ferguson, I support your efforts. So now you want to go and look at how do you make that idea? How do you turn ideas into reality? What do you do? So maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Understanding your resources in the community, right? When you understand those resources in the community. So Marla, you want to have this youth cleanup day? That'll be great. Did they go out they went to Corn Creek already on April 12th, but don't let that deter you, right? So there's some ideas you can maybe contact your community chair or maybe solid waste and see if they have some trash bags I can give you for free. Go get some Kool-Aid, get some water. There's organizations that will give you stuff for free. I still got some toys, Marla, from the Toys for Tots. I still got a lot of Legos out there. So that's another thing. I got some Legos. If anybody wants to start any Lego leagues, we have some of those brand new amazing Legos that we got from the Toys for Tots organization. And this is going to be a great opportunity to share resources like this. If anybody else has anything, there's a couple more flyers on some great events happening here. we have some Join Our Food as Good Medicine program. This is being spearheaded by Mr. Frankie Young, who's a program coordinator out to Sichunguko. And it says, take the next steps for your health. So he has this flyer out there, and you're going to get a $120 monthly food voucher. Talk about what is food as a good medicine program, learning to set your goals. So why join? It has on this flyer, it says, why join? Why join food as medicine? One of the biggest things here is the factors of our short life expectancies here on the Rosebud is preventable illnesses. So maybe we'll bring in a so we have someone over here from Scotland, huh? Wow. Well, thanks for tuning in, Fraser. Appreciate that. We're going to bring in some nutritionists, some traditionalists and nutritionists, and we're going to talk about food as medicine. Food is one of the things that was taken from us as well, and they controlled us through food. So right now, when you see a lot of go to IHS, everybody's going in there for diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. These are preventable diseases that we're becoming what we're eating. So we need to take a look at that. Every single one of us, even I need to take a look at that. I'm a grandma now, so I need to take a look at and making sure that I can stay on this earth side as long as possible, so I can be here to support my family. I mentioned before, life expectancy is so short here on the Rosebud. So why join these types of food as medicine programs or food as food movement, food sovereignty movements? Is you look at the weather that's happening. There's a lot more happening out in this world than what's going on your street, what's going on with your neighbor. Sometimes you need to get your head out of that business that don't belong to you and start to look in the mirror and look at your health, look at what's happening around you, and start to focus on that. Okay. A lot of the times, and I'm guilty of that, is I was going to look at everybody else's mistakes and not mine because I didn't want to face what I needed to face. And that's what happens a lot with our people here. Okay. So take a look at yourselves. How do we want to stay here earthside longer? I want to be here with my grandbabies and my daughter longer. So I want to take steps to help and improve my health and my lifestyle as well too. No one ain't going to do it for me. I'm going to have to do that. I'm definitely going to check out the free eye clinic. I'm going to check out what Mr. Frankie Young got's going on with food as medicine. We need to start growing gardens. We got community cleanup happening. We got some MMIW events that are happening all over. I just wanted to share some things are coming across my emails. This is happening May 2nd at Thunder Valley. Thunder Valley has a ton of stuff that goes on. So they're doing a couple of different events. May 2nd, this event here, the history and war on Indigenous women and sex trafficking awareness. We're going to be talking about things like that here. That's some pretty heavy stuff, and it happens here. So we're going to be bringing that to the show. We got an MMIW walk on May 2nd. Starts at the Wachipi grounds here in Rosebud. So there's another MMIW event here. And then my Mashke, Litoy Lunderman, who always suckers me into doing trainings with her. The other day I said, hi, Toy, I miss you. And she says, hey. She didn't even say hi back, by the way. I'm still waiting for a hi back. But she had me go and do a training on youth with problematic sexual behaviors. And that's another topic we're going to bring to this, okay? There's a lot of heavy stuff and a lot of funny stuff we're going to talk about it, but my Mashke Toy looks like she's doing an event. Thank God she didn't ask me to help her. She's doing it over there in Thunder Valley on May 3rd, 5 to 7. So go and see what's all happening out there in the community. Stay informed.
Did I say downtown Pine Ridge? Is that what it said?
Did it? Downtown Ridge?
Yeah. Whoa.
Gee, whoa, downtown Ridge. Oh, left. Look at even has Kevin Decoria over there acting all Pine Ridgey over there. He's from over here. What are you doing over there, Decoria? Do all that.
Okay, Doksha, okay. I gotta go pick up my chingshi.
Okay. Miss Savannah is exiting the airwaves right now. And before we exit the airwaves, I just wanted to go and introduce you to over here. We have one of our historians here is Mr. Peter Gibbs. He has worked in, you can jump on over there, Mr. Gibbs. We'll just go and have him say hi. And he's been a really intricate part of, he does a lot of research for us. A lot of people don't like to do the research. So we have Mr. Gibbs who does research for us here and helps us put the pieces together, and he can introduce himself and where you worked out before you came into the States.
Hi there.
Well, hold up here.
This just give you a little introduction of who I was before I came here. Obviously, the accent to tell you that I'm not from America. I was originally from England. Whereas curator of the British Museum, my American Art Department for 12 years. And I came over here and got married, which is one big reason for coming here. And ever since I've been here, I've been pretty low-key in a way until the last 5 or 6 years. And what I do is a historian and a researcher. I've been, a lot of people sort of getting the wrong impression sometimes about what I do because it's coming from a non-native, and I can't do anything about that. That's where I was born. But what I can do is bring all the relative materials, information, everything that I can find that I've come across over the years, I'm bringing it back here to Rosebud, and this program has been helping. And we're gradually putting together databases of all this information that's out there, so that the future generations and even today, you can go and find it. It's out there. The information is there for whatever you need. And again, if you want to ask any questions, any materials, I can ask about genealogy, I can ask about war sites, sacred sites that I've come across over the years. And I've been doing this for nearly 50 odd years now. So you can imagine the information that I've obtained. And it's not mine. I'm not going to guard it. I'm not going to hold it. I'm giving it back to the people. There's a lot of deals at the moment about what is being used, and I know there's a lot of controversy over what is belonging to cultural rights and items like that. And it's really a hard subject because there is so much out there. And I've known for even since the 60s and 70s, the information has been abused away from your homelands. I've seen it in England, I've seen it in Germany, Italy, Czechoslovakia, all over the world. It's been misused. And I'm one of those that is dead nuts against this misuse of cultural property. It's yours. So my aim is to bring it and put it all back for you in a way that it can be easily accessible, protected and sacred, and this program here with childcare does that. It's here. I get a bit despondent sometimes when you see other places trying to do this, and put things together. Well, it's all there. You don't really have to do that. It's just a case of knowing that your information is there, it's recorded. My aim is to put it into one place so that it's even more accessible. And like I said, I've worked with elders for a long, long time. One of the first times I came over here was back in the 1970s. People don't realise that, and they say, "You've been here that long?" I said, yeah, I've been here. I used to work up at St. Francis in 1984 and 85. Then I went back for a while and came back over here and put together an exchange, and that's basically how I came back, was through a culture exchange in England and in Denmark. I met my wife, Kathy, and came back over here. And I've been here ever since 1991. And I know a lot of elders, and people say, you know them. And I mentioned some real elders that were around back then, and they don't realise that I've been here for quite a while. And it is home now. Although sometimes I do get a little bit itchy feet to go back to England to see what's going on. It's like at the moment, there's a big deal next week when we get a new king. I'm so used to saying a queen. And a lot of people say, oh, you come from the Queen's country, and I'm going to have to correct them next week and say, no, I come from the King's country next week because we get a new king, King Charles III. For whether we want to or not, but that's the way it goes in politics. So it's going to be interesting from that point of view, what's going to happen in my homeland where I was born. But that's another story. But again, it's like, if I can help you in any way, would have gone ever. No subject to me is off limits. Because it's the only way you learn. Ask questions. Question things. But realise who you are. It's you that's going to do it. It's you that's going to turn your life around, not me, not anybody. It's a complex subject that all we can do is just keep going because there's so much out there. There's so much to learn, so much to relearn. Probably in the last couple of months, I thought, I read some books and I thought, geez, now I'm beginning to think, no, their books are not worth it. They're not even worth buying anymore. Because there's so much oral tradition out there. There's so many things that were not right. We need to write that. This protective of sacred does that to a big, big, big degree. And all I can do is encourage everybody to get involved in it. Support them. The one thing I know you would, Sunrise, you just talked about what you can put out there. I'd love to put a challenge out to that tribal council. I'd love to then, all the tribal councils, you want to be sort of role models. Okay, here's one for that. I'll put it out, a challenge to the tribal council members that sit there at council. I'd like to see all of you get on a community cleanup one day. No excuses, all of you. Make one day where you guys go out there and show people how you can clean up a community. Words are good, but actions speak a lot more. I'll do it. I'll be there. But it's just that I'd like to see that happen. It'd be a good challenge to see what they say to that.
Well, after lunch, I'm going to grab a camera and I'm going to record you cleaning up at Sunrise.
I'm going to actually follow these two guys around and I'm taking them to Sunrise
God
apartment.
knows I will do it. Huh? And I'm only going to say this because other people have said this, but I'm probably in the top 1 tribal employees. I've heard that before. That's the only reason I don't want to brag.
This was the Pinocchio show. We'll have some big old pursuits right now, but thank you all for tuning in. We kind of went over an hour, and that's okay. Sometimes our topics and conversations are going to get like that. We have a lot more topics coming your way, and
yeah, we're not guidelined by anybody. I mean, we could have a 3-hour podcast if you wanted, but we just set this initial one up for 1 hour. We're not guidelined by the FCC or anything, so we can talk about anything on here. But some of the things I wrote down that I want to talk about coming up at a later time are going to be sacred sites. We travel there. We want to talk a little bit more about sacred sites up in the Black Hills. Harvesting, proper ways to harvest sage and stuff. You see people just pulling it out of the ground. It's not how you do it. They told me stories. We get a ton of they told me stories, and they come with lessons. Youth Day is coming up. We need to get that planned. Shout out to Nicole Marshall. She's got that going on, and we will help her with planning Youth Day. And then another one that we talked about for the whole time that we've been here. We got maybe 1 or 2 recordings, but we have spoke with medicine men and elders about this, and I think it needs to be discussed in a real way. Our logo up there says the Wake Up Show. It's real, it's res, it's raw. I want to take a real talk on suicide. We have that going on. It goes on way too much. And some of the medicine we talked about our cycle of life, and when we take our life too soon, what happens? So we'll discuss stuff like that. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. Next week will be 10 times better. We'll be a little bit more. We'll be a little bit more ready. We were kind of working on this late last night and this morning. I'll have that website up and brand new for you guys by Monday morning or maybe this weekend. But for the Wake Up Show, this is Lord Zayat. And thank you guys for tuning in. Sunrise. And
Thank you.
And Savannah was here.
Thank you all. Oh, and real quick though, we got some prizes.
We will. We'll get on our probably our Protector of the Sacred Facebook. So get on there. We'll do we have some swimming pools to give away and some other stuff. For all our guests that come in that want to be a part of the show, you'll get a Wolf Bond bag. That's a medicine bag, and there's really good smelling stuff in there. Some good medicine in there. So anytime you want to drop in and be a part of the Wake Up Show, again, every Friday at 11 o'clock, you guys will get that as a gift for coming in. But I will, on our Protector of the Sacred Facebook, we'll give away those prizes. We have Marla, Carlene, and Patty. Fraser, if you want to drop on by.
From Scotland. Yes, all right. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back again.